So it's Tuesday. I'm sorry I did not record anything yesterday, even though I did do some reading. Well, like by the time I was done wrapping up my vlog for the week and I was uploading it, time just went beyond my apologies. But I was reading. I did start the Brain Chronicles yesterday, like I promised I was going to, and I'm currently on page 265. I am reading all the, so far I think the short story I found the most intriguing, which was interesting because I would assume it would be the Midnight Air. Like, I love the introduction of like the new characters, so James Herondale, Matthew Fairchild, even though we didn't really see him, Grace Blackthorne, Tatiana is still there, still being cuckoo, but now she's a cuckoo as, I don't know, smothered down into rage, and I'm terrified because she does seem like she has the makings of a villain, you know, a good villain. So I'm intrigued. But so far, my favorite of the stories that I've read so far has to be Saving Rafael Santiago. Like, it is just so heartbreaking reading about Rafael's history, and like at the ending, you know, when Guadalupe was trying to thank Magnus and was like, no, Raphael saved himself, your son saved himself. I was bawling my eyes out. It was just so beautiful. But yeah, I am reading all the short stories. After the fall of the Hotel du Mort, then we have the last 3 stories that are connected with like the Mortal Instrument present day, so Magnus's relationship with Alec, which is what I'm really intrigued about. So yeah, I'm more than halfway through. Once I finish this though, I can finally read City of Heavenly Fire, which yay. After I read that, I would then pick up another book for my owls. Please, like I said, let me know if any of the Shadowhunters book would work for my owls. I don't think so though, so I have to go back to reading my owls book. I think I might read contemporary, so maybe A Very Large Expanse of Sea, you know, by Tahereh Mafi. And then after I read that, I want to go back and read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, that's Simon's story. And then after that, I want to read the Shadowhunters Codex, so that I know that I am done with that set of series, those set of books. And then next month I can actively start reading the Dark Artifice series, round things off with Tales from the Ghost Market, Red Schools of Magic, and Chain of Gold. So I want to be all caught up with Cassandra Clare's book by say May, June, which is not bad. So yeah, but I definitely have to round off this TMI reading part of this reading exercise ASAP, so I can go back to my owls books, because I am ready. But I think I would enjoy that because I've been in one particular set of world for so long. I'm ready to move on to something else, something different also. So yeah, I would continue my update and you will see me soon. It's a couple of minutes to 9. I'm sorry I didn't take any footage of myself reading for the quarantine pages reading. I was working and then I barely made it in time to join everybody, and I totally forgot to set up my camera. I'm sorry, but anyway, I have finished the Brain Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, and Maureen Johnson, and I have to admit it, this is one of my favorite Shadowhunter books. Like, I absolutely love it. I think it's because Magnus Bane is my favorite character from this entire world, and this entire collection of short novellas is just an unraveling of what makes Magnus Magnus. We get a glimpse of the enigma, this being that Alec Lightwood wanted to know so desperately that he broke his heart in his search for the truth of exactly who is Magnus Bane. And we get this beautiful book that is a love letter to just how silly he is and irreverent, and how loyal, and how much he wants and searches for love, and how vulnerable he can be, and how he can see the vulnerability in others, and in turn rise up to meet that need, because deep down in that heart of his, Magnus Bane is a softie. And I loved seeing the many faces of his life, his loves, his friendships, every part of what makes Magnus Magnus. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite. I am giving it a total, complete, undisputed 5 stars. I love this novella, love it to bits. And I think also you can definitely tell that this was not all Cassandra Clare's writing, because the way in which the stories were told was different. The way in which the language was employed, it was slow in some parts and it sped along in other parts, but I really did enjoy it. I think my favorite of all the novellas in this was Saving Rafael Santiago, like I said earlier, and I think a second favorite other than Midnight Air, but just like we didn't really get much. We just got a hint of things with Midnight Air, but I think that second favorite for me was What to Buy the Shadowhunter, Who Has Everything. I found myself laughing and cackling so hard. Like, who would have thought that a demon called Elias would be one of my favorite characters in this anthology? Like, slimy ass demon who legitimately thinks that it's cool, like records are really cool, and is offended because the last time it was summoned was in the 80s, and back then records were in, and so was Fleetwood Mac, and who had opinions about, you know, the boy, the Shadowhunter boy that Magnus Bane taking on as his lover. Like, who would have thought that that would be my favorite character in this anthology? But he is. I love Elias, the demon, the slimy ass demon. Who would have thought? But yeah, I did enjoy this. Definitely 5 stars. And now I can finally get on to City of Heavenly Fire, and after that I because I enjoyed this so much, I want to see if the reason why I love this is because I actually love the novella, the short collection of different stories in her world. I want to see if I love that format of storytelling, or if it is that it's because it's Magnus Bane. So after City of Heavenly Fire, I'm definitely going to be reading Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy and Shadowhunters Codex, and then that would be like me wrapping up my Cassandra Clare reading, Shadowhunters reading for this month. And next month will be definitely me reading the Dark Artifices and basically being all caught up with Cassandra Clare's books. Like, yeah, that's the plan. But 5 stars, loved it. I can't wait to start City of Heavenly Fire tomorrow, so that I can be like, yes, I'm close to like wrapping up with TMI and TID and the novellas in between that, and then I can move on to the owls, because I need to see if I can read 4 or 5 books for my owls by this Sunday. So yeah, everybody pray for me. So it's Thursday. Apologies, I did not record anything yesterday, even though I was binging. Actually, I was binging City of Heavenly Fire yesterday. I couldn't put it down. I was just feeding my way through it. I think Cassandra Clare is a master at like wrapping up the end of a story, because she then brings in all these threads that she's started setting from the start of the book, and then everything just comes together and just blows your mind. I think that this for me was as engaging as City of Glass, and a little bit more so because I actually have a fondness for the Blackthorns, and I love how heavily they were featured in this book, and I'm actually really relieved that the Dark Artifices follows their family, because I have so many questions and I want to know so much more about them. But like I said, I love how all the threads were wrapped, you know, with Brother Zachariah, with Tessa, with Magnus, with Alec, with Clary, with Jace, with Isabel, with Simon. Even the way in which the epilogue for this was so good. It didn't break me like the epilogue for Clockwork Princess. Like, that is OG epilogues to beat all epilogues. I would always have a special place in my heart for that epilogue, because that was so good. But this was actually also pretty nice. I really enjoyed it, and I liked the extra scene that was in this, the bonus material we got of Jace handing Emma his stele, and her like, oh, I would never watch it. It's such a fangirl thing to do, and it warmed my heart. Now, the only problem I had with this was the fact that even till the end, the implication that we got with this was that Jonathan Morgenstern was the way he was because of the demon blood in his veins. They were like, oh, the demon blood was poison in his veins, and I don't know, I just had a problem with that, because you had warlocks who are half demon, who have demon blood running through their veins. Like, Magnus Bane has demon blood running through his veins, but like the way in which this was positioned, like, oh, demon blood is toxic, I felt did a disservice to the good warlocks out of them, like Magnus, like Ragnarfell, like Katarina Loss, like good warlocks with hearts of gold who might have demon blood in their veins, but who do not let that determine that, who chose to regain and retain their humanity. I would have rather if it was that they had actually placed the blame of the kind of person Jonathan became if Cassandra Clare had placed that blame on the way he was raised by Valentine and not necessarily the demon blood, because I think that it did a disservice to the warlocks that had demon blood and that were good people. So like that was the only part I could not stand, the way in which the things ended with him. I know he was not really giving forgiveness, but it kind of still seemed like a cop out, and maybe I was just too angry. Maybe I just remember too many of the people lost. The last part with him, I was like, yeah, whatever. You're only giving this redemption because clearly people really like Jonathan Morgenstern. I think he's way more brilliant than Valentine. I think he is a better strategist, is a better planner, but he's still a dick, you know. But I did enjoy this. I did enjoy it. I think it was a great way to wrap up the TMI series, and now I can, you know, put it down and start thinking towards the rest of the books in the Cassandra Clare Shadowhunters universe. I'm actually really proud of myself because so far I have read quite a number of books in that universe. So there's 6 TMI books, there's 3 TID books, so that's 9, and I've read Bane Kuniku. So I've read 10 books in Cassandra Clare Shadowhunter universe so far, and I'm very happy with myself. But I finished this yesterday. I finished this morning. I finished it at about 5 in the morning, and then I went to bed and I just woke up. And I have a meeting in like another 5 minutes. I want to just wrap this thing up, but I gave this 4.5 stars and I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. So I'm still reading Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy. I'm currently on page 349, which means I'm almost halfway through this book, and I'm actually having a blast. I think, interestingly enough, I actually enjoyed the novella bind-ups. I like being able to see tiny little glimpses of these other characters. I think the motto, when I started reading Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters World, I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking boring and makes no sense, and these characters are annoying. But I think the novella bind-ups have been unveiling like what lies beneath other characters, and in a way it now makes me tolerate characters I never really could stand in the first place. So reading Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, like being able to see more of Jace as he goes to the academy to talk to Simon, the way he teases him, finding out more about, you know, his family, etc, etc. I just think it makes me tolerate Jace more, you know. And I think the novella bind-ups are my favorite. Like I said, I love peeling layers off of this character, seeing characters past and present. I did not know I was going to love James Arundel until I read his novella in this, like the Katarina telling Simon about his story in this, and I want to protect him. I want to protect Matthew Fairchild. I definitely want to protect Christopher Lightwood and Thomas Lightwood. It's funny, like I said, it's funny because all these things, seeing these characters, seeing this larger world, I'm getting invested in Cassandra Clare's world, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think I might actually be liking the Shadowhunters universe. I want to read more books in it. I want to see more of these characters. I might actually be understanding why people are addicted to this, you know. It's really interesting. It's this characters that span centuries apart, this universe that has such interesting people. I want to know more. So yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I'm definitely enjoying seeing Simon slowly coming to his own and coming to his person and realize who he is without his memories. Of course, I am still keeping my fingers crossed that he does get his memory back, but I am definitely intrigued about this, like definitely really intrigued. So yeah, so it's nighttime. Today was busy with work, but I was able to finish Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Weserman. I still retain my thoughts with regards to the Bane Chronicles. I think the bind-up novellas seem to be my favorite. I just like seeing little glimpses of all these different characters, and knowing them better. And this was just so amazingly Simon's story. I'm in love, but not just Simon. We got a hint of James Arundel. We saw Mark. We saw the Blackthorns again. Of course, we had a chapter dedicated to Malek and them discovering or finding their son Max Michael Lightwood Bain. I think that's my absolute favorite story in this bind-up. It makes me so happy. I'm in awe. I just loved seeing the Lightwood come together and welcoming this little warlock baby. It's so cute. But yeah, I did enjoy this. I really did enjoy it. And it's, apologies if I sound odd, it's been a very busy day. I'm so exhausted. I want to sleep in a bit, and I would, but I just wanted to do like my update for tonight. So after this, I'm going to be reading the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. It's like 274, so hopefully I can finish it tomorrow, because after it's done, I do want to read, I finally want to get on the books for my owls, because like I said, I want to finish my owls book, and then after that, then I would start the Dark Artificer series and, you know, binge read the rest of that series so that I can complete all the books in the Cassandra. I can be like, I've read all the books in the Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter universe. I'm not gonna lie, these books are growing on me, like really growing on me, like wow. But like I said, this is the next book on my list. After this, I might either read Every Outer Doorway by Shannon Maguire or A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahereh Mafi. I'm not sure. When I finish this and I'm in the right space, I can then decide, but I'm probably going to read A Large Expanse of Sea, because yeah, I've missed reading contemporary. I've been reading a lot of fantasy for a while, so it will be a nice way to break things up. But yeah, that is my update with regards reading. With regards what else I was doing this evening, I don't think I've hit it on my channel, but because I've not mentioned it in a while, so new people might not know, but I am a huge nerd / geek. So yes, your girl likes anime and mangas and comics and video games, etc. But I also love K-dramas. I even have a series on my channel talking about Asian dramas. So I like K-drama. I like Asian dramas in general, and I particularly love K-dramas. And there's a new one that I've been looking forward to, which has just started. It's on Netflix and it just started today. It's The King, the Eternal Monarch, and it's the very first drama that Lee Min-ho is acting in ever since he finished his military service, like last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think he finished early last year. Yeah, so I've been really looking forward to it. The scriptwriter is the same writer that did Goblin, so it's a big production, and you can see that Lee Min-ho has come into his own as an actor, and it's just amazing. And it also stars Kim Go-hyun as the female lead. I've loved her ever since Keys on the Trap, which was with Park Hae-jin. That is a great webtoon. I'm still offended by the way things went through with the drama, you know, because the webtoon was fantastic, and Park Hae-jin and Kim Go-hyun, like, they had chemistry. But anyway, I'm not about to get into that. So I first discovered her with Cheese on the Trap, and then she blew me away with Goblin, and it's just the first episode of The King, Eternal Monarch, and I am in awe and I'm in love, you know. And like I said, it's the same writer that did Goblin, it's the same writer that did Descendant of the Sun, so it's going to be a big production, and I'm just ready for all the angst and all the story. And so far I am very intrigued by the premise of the story. It explains some things but keeps so many things in the dark, and you're just trying to unravel exactly what is happening and what is going on, and I'm very intrigued with what I've seen so far. So yeah, I'm about to go to bed. I'm exhausted, but here's my update. See you tomorrow. Bye. So it's about 9:45 p.m. on Saturday. I just finished hosting today's silent reading session for Quarantine Pages. It was so much fun. A huge thank you to everybody that showed up, that was able to attend and be a part of it. I'm sorry I've not been able to record, and I'm sorry I've not put up any video since Wednesday. I have two computers at home, right? Like my Mac, the battery suddenly died and would not come on, and so I had to have that replaced. So my Mac was in the shop since Wednesday, and then the office computer, which I'd been using pending when my Mac was fixed, Compub was being Compub yesterday, and he kind of sort of pushed my laptop off the table, off the desk that I was working on, and spoiled my HP, my screen from my HP Pro. So that also had to be fixed. Both of them have been fixed now, but it's been an insane last couple of days and such. I've not been reading as much as I wanted to, but I have been getting substantial reading done. I'm currently reading the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. I'm on page, hold up, I'm on page 26. I love, like I said, I love encyclopedias, so I'm just really having a blast reading more about, you know, the Shadowhunter world. What I do love about this though are the little notes between Clary and Simon and Jace that are in between the pages. I also picked up A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahereh Mafi, and I'm currently on page 58. This was what I was reading during the silent reading session, and I am floored. From the very first time when we start this book and we see the racism and Islamophobia that Shirin has to deal with, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that she walks into a class and our teacher is all like, oh, this is for advanced English, and she's like, yes, and it's like, you don't understand. Yeah, sure, there must have been a mistake made with your schedule because this is for advanced English. And I'm just like, the level of racism in that statement, I was so outraged, and I just like, yep, Tahereh Mafi did not come to play. She came to just level shit, and I'm living for it. I was also living for, you know, Shirin breaking down the reason why so many Muslim women, you know, choose to wear the hijab, and the fact that there was something she said which struck me, the fact that people rarely ever asked her why she chooses to wear the hijab. They just assume and automatically believe that their assumptions are right, and that is so honestly true. I live in a country that is split between primarily Christian and Muslim population. Religions that exist outside of those two core groups are actually in the minority. So I have had classmates and roommates and neighbors and friends, secondary school friends, university friends, you know, that are both Muslims and Christians, and it just occurred to me that I know the reason why they wear the hijab, but I've actually seen people just make assumptions about them, like just from meeting them. So that line really did hit. You know, she talks about, there's a part where she says no one even asked me the answer anymore. People just assumed they knew the answer, and they were nearly always wrong. I dressed the way I did, not because I was trying to be a nun, but because it felt good and because it made me feel less vulnerable in general, like I wore a kind of armor every day. It was a personal preference. I definitely didn't do it because I was trying to be modest for the sake of some douchebag who couldn't keep his dick in his pants. People struggle to believe this because people struggle to believe women in general. It was one of the greatest frustrations in my life, and like, this line just hit me. It was just right on so many levels. I've been annotating the hell out of this because I'm enjoying it. At the start, there's a part where she was, you know, Shirin has this habit of having earphones on. That is what gets her through a day. That is what gets her through the casual racism and Islamophobia that is our everyday life, because this book takes place a year after 9/11, and here is this 16-year-old Muslim girl who has to navigate that territory. And she says, music seemed to steady me like a second skeleton. I leaned on it when my own bones were too shaken to stand. And there is just the truth, the vibrancy, the honesty, the punch in the gut nature of those words, because music has been that for me. Music would always be that for me. But I can never forget university. University was so hard. I was facing so many things, and music was that external skeleton. It was what gave me the strength to keep moving, to help me stand. And just having Tahereh Mafi put it in words so aptly just was needed and a heaven sent. But yeah, I'm reading these two books at the same time. My plan is hopefully, because ideally I want to finish both of them before tomorrow evening when I wrap up this vlog. But I am currently very tired. It's been a long ass day having to have all my computers fixed and then cleaning and disinfecting them, so I'm just exhausted. I just want to go to bed. So yeah, but pray for me. I still want to finish this too tomorrow. So yeah, see you tomorrow. So I finally finished reading both the Shadowhunters Codex and A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahereh Mafi. It means that this vlog is most likely not going to go up until either, like, if it's going up tonight, it's going to be like really late tonight, or it might probably not go up until, say, tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm actually really proud because I wanted to read one more book for my owls and I have done so, and it's Charms. So I have my book with the white cover down for it. I'm very happy with myself. I love this. I really love this. I'm giving it a 5 stars. Like I said, I have a soft spot in my heart for encyclopedias, and just I think this would have been a 4-star for being an encyclopedia of knowledge and basically explaining other things about the shadow world, but what elevated it to a 5-star for me is the little notes. I was cackling so hard at the notes in the margin. I love the fact that, you know, we could see Clary very clearly noticing the biases in what the Clave was writing, especially in all the things that they got wrong. And then of course there was also the old cross-referencing of she spoke to Luke and then Luke would go on a rant about, you know, just how degrading and demeaning, you know, and prejudiced and bigoted the Clave has been. And then of course Magnus also puts his own in, and then there's Simon commenting and there's Jace commenting. I really found it very fascinating. It was not just an encyclopedia, I was like reading their diary, and that's the one thing I love about annotation. I love reading other people's annotated books because it just gives me a deeper understanding into exactly what was in their headspace when they were reading it, and I really love annotating my books as a result of that. So yeah, I did enjoy this. Like, I gave this 5 stars, definitely 5 stars. I also gave A Very Large Expanse of Sea 5 stars as well. I loved it. Like, this book, it was so soft and so warm and so romantic. I was feeling in so many holes in my heart. And then like I said, it starts with a punch in the gut because we are giving a first eye glimpse into just the level of racism and bigotry and Islamophobia that Shireen goes through in her day-to-day living. And then there's now the romantic part because it is a love story, and I think it's the same reason why I love a diversity of experiences, especially when we're looking at, you know, diverse stories, because it's fitting. I want to read about an hijabi in space, right? I want to read about an hijabi in a fantasy novel. It's the reason why I totally can't wait to read Shatter Me, because I think they said that there's an hijabi in the 2nd series. Like, also because I love Tahereh Mafi's writing, so I definitely need to pick up Shatter Me sometime soon. I also can't wait to pick up An Ember in the Ashes as well. Like, I'm definitely very excited. Like, I love this. And in this, yes, this book is about the racism Shireen is facing, and it's the casualness of it, the systemic racism that is just part of our everyday life, that it brought back to mind that Alex quote from City of Lost Souls, you know, when he talks about how it's not just a sudden deep wound, it's tiny little gashes spread over a period of time. That is what weighs on you, that is what breaks you. And you could see that with Shireen's story. But it's not just about the racism she faces, she encounters, because that is important, but it's also a love story. It's about her falling in love with a boy, being 16, terrified of letting down her walls, terrified of also bringing him into this, because she knows exactly what he's going to have to deal with. She knows what the backlash would be, and it is her getting to that point, you know, and realizing that she cannot let that be what keeps her, you know, from finding love. I loved it. I loved
a very large expanse of sea. I can't wait to talk about it more in depthly in my wrap-up because it's so good. I totally enjoyed it. I can't wait to reread it again. I can't wait to meet Sharon all over again. She's just so rightfully angry and acerbic, and at the same time so vulnerable, and just seeing all that layers revealed throughout the course of the book. I just love it. I love the fact that she's breakdancing. I love the fact that she's doing things for herself. I love the fact that, you know, I love the happy ending she got at the end of the book, because it is a happy ending, and I am so excited that this is going to be made into a movie. Like, I cannot wait. I want the movie fast. I want it pronto. I want it like today. But yes, this is where I'm going to be wrapping up my vlog for this week. So that's week 3 done, and not bad. April is being a very great reading month so far, because like so far, and I'm so excited. I think I am going to be reading The Magicians next. Probably going to read that during the reading, but yeah, I'm going to wrap up the vlog here, and I will see you soon. Bye.